Hi all. Right, back, more enemy action Kharkov, Soviet Solo, take 2, part 19, I think. Right, so I think I must have been discussing, there's my hand, it looks like I've got this card selected as being my next choice for the next impulse. Third tank were activated last turn, so I can't activate them. I got a reply from John Butterfield himself regarding my question. Right, what was it again? Well, I've got the question up here. So I don't know if you've looked at it on BGG. Right, so okay, it feels like a bit of a daft question. My feeling is that yes, I would draw another command card, but I want to ask before moving on with my playthrough. Situation is turn 3, only one German unit attempts to activate. On checking action step 2, which is move the unit to VP hex, move to a German VP hex only if blah 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 blah, right? But the relevant part was that if the unit is alone in a VP hex and a Soviet unit is proximate to the unit does not move at all in this activation. And it was this guy here that was active. This was just the last impulse, wasn't it? Well, we drew another card in the end, and turns out that was correct. However, there's a wee bit to sort of break down still. So yeah, and my question was, the unit is in a VP hex and a Soviet unit is proximate to it. And I think I cleared this up. Initially I was trying to be enter the hex, wasn't I? Yeah, but it's not. It was just to be proximate to the actual unit. So that means one of these hexes round about it. But we were able to do that. So the unit does not move at all in this activation. But there was just something niggling me about it because it said it in the instruction, and I like the way Martin's actually replied afterwards, and he's put it down in a way that, yeah, that's how I was thinking about it. I'll come to that in a second. So I said, basically my question is, if after checking all other action steps, and I assume I do this including drawing action cards, etc., there is no action the unit can perform, do I now draw another command card? Yeah, so hopefully John's read all that. I mean, I'm assuming he will have. It's just, I mean, his reply at first is, "Hi Grant, almost," he said. First, check the commands listed after the activation command. Where's the card? Oh, right, have we been through that many cards? Oh, because we would add combat tactics, wouldn't we? Would we? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, hi Grant, almost. First check the commands listed after the activation command on the current command card. And admittedly, I maybe didn't sort of look at that and just glossed over that bit, but I'd looked at it already and I knew this was the only thing we could do. If you see what he's saying there is, yeah, okay, so we can't activate the unit. So now we move on to the next command on the card, which is only from turn 5, which is an event overextended. So he says, if none of those commands can be conducted, then draw another command card. So I'm hopefully, I mean, it wasn't really that I was asking about. It was about the wording on that step 2 regarding do not move at all this activation. You know, and like I say, the way Martin's put it is sort of makes it a bit more clearer to maybe how I should have asked my question. John follows up with, I don't know which command card you drew, but let's say you drew Core Rouse card E30 on turn 3. That's 4 possible commands. After determining that nothing happens in the first 2 commands, you would then check and conduct the replacement command if possible. If not possible, you would check and conduct the strategic relocation event if possible. If not possible, you would draw a new command card. So, I mean, I understand that if I can't do anything on the card, I would then draw another card. But I suppose my doubt was, did I actually do anything? Did I carry out an action, an activation, by saying that this unit can't move? It sounds weird, doesn't it? But to be honest, Martin backs me up a little on it. So I said, replied, "Hi John, yeah, good point that I should go back to the card to check for other possible commands. It was card E35, so there were no possible commands that could be applied in turn 3. I guess I was just worried that the unit does not move it at all in this activation may have still counted as the active unit having carried out an activation. Though, like I said, it did feel like a daft question. I think my thinking here may have come from similar rules within enemy action or den. Your answer confirms my thoughts. Thanks, John." Right, so yeah, there was some bit about enemy action or den coming into it that I thought I could remember back. It was movement is considered complete. That was one of the wordings for some of the instructions. Yeah, that was one of them. Movement is considered complete, and the other one was unit is considered to have moved, I want to say. And they were both worded differently, but actually in some cases both meant the same thing, I think. It was something like that anyway. It was a wee bit sort of, it brought up quite a lot of discussion. Anyway, yeah, so Martin just responded today. It was definitely not a daft question, and he says, "While I was fairly sure that the instruction in your example didn't count as an activation, as I kind of felt, the definition of an action, at least in the playtesting rules, is during a German activation, a set of instructions in an action step or action card involving a German unit," and then he's got in brackets followed by some examples. He says, "So you could argue that the unit does not move at all in this activation as an instruction under that definition." So it was good to have it clarified. So yeah, I mean the designer themselves clarified that that doesn't count as an activation. So, but good to know it wasn't as daft a question as I thought. So thanks for that, Martin, and thanks John as well for coming and confirming that one. So we know where we're at now. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to mention. I think we're kind of good to go with the next Soviet Impulse. Yeah, so I'm just uploading part 18 just now. I could have maybe done it last night, but it was late and yeah. So 17 was up last night. Haven't had any feedback. So like I say, usually no news is good news. I think there was a wee. I've been going through looking at it, and there's a couple of comments I maybe add to the header. What was the one? Yeah, I was checking for reserve deployment, and remember how we found out, which kind of like was nice to be brought to my attention, that the Soviet strategic reserve deployment needed to be, well, not only needed to be 5 hexes away from a German map edge hex, which I'm glad I read, but also 5 hexes away from a garrison. And I remember talking in one case and kind of ignoring that part. I haven't deployed anything with that deployment, but yeah, we'll need to keep it in mind if I ever do want to do it. I've always just at the moment stuck with the tactical. So 17's up there for viewing, and 18 will be sort of up shortly, I think. And this is 19. Right, okay, so we think we're activating Mobile Group Popov. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am. I mean, we did draw, I think this is the last card we drew, and there was talk about trying to make a move of these guys, just to get, partly to get these two out of this hex, so that we can get the 40th Army in round about then. So it might be that I have to make an activation with them at some point. I mean, I could strategically move these, I think I talked about that, to get a bit more movement, to maybe get them up here somewhere. And then just kind of move these guys across, I suppose. I'm not quite sure where they're all heading. Like I did say, I think I want to probably put some infantry into this town. Oh, that was something that looked a bit sort of daft again. When I moved the unit out of this town to admittedly join the attack in Kharkov, and it worked out we got 8-1 odds rather than 7-1, I think it was. with the extra strength. So it did seem worthwhile. And obviously, I pointed at this unit and was concerned that he could maybe come into here. But if you remember that rule we've just read, he'll not leave that hex. Even if for that, it's actually, I mean, it's different now to what it was in turns 1 and 2. So he's alone in that hex, so he will not move out of that hex. However, as some of you, I'm sure, noticed that this unit here is 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's a stroll into there, and he may well do that. So yeah, we might have that as an issue. However, I think our next move, the third tank, is probably to come across here, and if that guy does move in there, yeah, I probably shouldn't be creating more battles than I need though, should I? So yeah, maybe bringing the 69th Army units up, getting in these 2 towns maybe. I don't know how things are going to happen when the reserves come along. They've got 2 2nd SS units and 3 48th. Oh, and then yeah, they've got the 57th units as well, which they're all 4th Panzer Army units. So they're all going to come along in here somewhere. So yeah, we need to be prepared for that, and we need to think about how it's going to happen, and yeah, okay. Right, but we're not there yet, so I still think I'm going to go with Popov, and let's try and take our 2 victory points. What did I say? We're up to 13, yeah. So we get these 2, that's 15, but I mean 12 is our first target. We're not going to reach the, what is it? Was it 25? It's not just 25. I think it's greater than 25. It's not just that. We've got to control one of these cities away up here. So, yeah, I'm not even looking at that. Okay, so decision made. I'm going to activate all units in mobile group Popov. And we're definitely making an attack here. And I think I talked about it before already. I said that I think this was our best second target. He's not got an IP for 1, so it's 1 less hit. But however, if we can get up, and if we can take him out or knock him back, we could possibly advance into this hex, putting pressure on this guy. And when we get the 6th Army card, get that guy surrounded, maybe something like that. Okay, so let's look at the numbers then. Right, so just counting up all the numbers that we've got there, and we've got 37 points worth of strength, which is a little bit frustrating. I mean, obviously this is a priority though, so I maybe shouldn't be sort of seriously considered that, but at first I'm looking around a bit here and I thought, well, I've got 17 against this, which is 1 short of 6 to 1, which would have been nicer. It is 5 to 1 if we can get the large attack chip pool, which I think I can get. 2, 4, 6. Actually, maybe not. Might just be 6. And then that would give us 20 strength on this, 5 to 1 odds, probably 7 chip pools as well. That's it. We're kind of 1 short. 38 would have been a nicer number, given 6 to 1 odds here and 5 to 1 odds there. So, looking at combat tactics, we do have Tank Brigade possible from the 3rd Tank Army Units card, which would increase our strength by 2, so that would be able to jump the odds up, but I feel like I should probably be putting more into the attack down here than worrying so much about that. Maybe we should take a 4 to 1 odds chance with that one. I mean, he's not in a town, not an IP, he's just in a clear hex, no defender adjacent, where this guy does have a defender adjacent, he's in a city. Okay, yeah, I do think I'm going to add the extra just to get the 6 to 1 in here. So what I thought was just bring an extra 2 strength down. So we're bringing this unit 1. I mean, we don't need to be flanking because it's a city anyway. So 1, 2, 3. Actually, I should probably stack them together, shouldn't I? Can I? he can go in with that. Don't think he can go in with this, so can he? So can I put him in there then? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So that's fine. So I'll do that. 1, 2, 3. So he's down the bottom of this. I think this is what I'm doing. And that's 11 strength with 4 chip pulls, and then another 8. So that's 19 strength with another 4 chip pulls. So yeah, so that would be 6-1 odds and 8 chip pulls. And then this, I'm just going to move into there. This guy's going to come 1, 2, 3, crossing the minor river, 4, 5, and then 6. Let's write it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and then these two. Yeah, we can only get in 2x. That's an annoying thing. We can't get this guy flanked. So in there and in there, right. So, and then that would be 8 with 3 chip pools and another 10, so 18 with 7 chip pools. Yeah, so 4-1 odds with the 7 chip pools. But I think we want to really put more into this. But I don't want to not have another attack. And that's really the best guy to go for, isn't it? It's either that or I just have 5-1 here and 5-1 there. You know what? I'm starting to think. I mean, 5-1 with 7 chip pools. I think it would be 5-1 with 8 chip pools in that battle. I think I'll just stick with this. I suppose it's just kind of seen that. Oh, I keep going on about that large attack shit. Seeing it a couple of times and noticing it was 5-1 on the other side. 6-1. We have seen a 6-1 shit that gives a D2 though, haven't we? I think, which would be nice. Right, I think I'm going to stick with that. Okay, yeah, I was swithering and God, I'm getting so many things coming up I can't make my mind up. It's hard to make your mind up. Right, so yeah, okay, we've done it now. Let's just do it. So we're attacking here in the city with, yeah, I've already looked at this. Come on, 5-11 with 4 chip pools. And then our 8, so 19 and an R4 chip pool. 19 with 8 chip pools. 19. So 6-1 odds and 8 chip pools. That's what I'm really trying to say, isn't it? 8 chip pools. Right. And we're not going to play any cards then. I kind of want my cards. They're all quite good. I mean, I suppose the first Guards Army card now isn't really necessary. That gives artillery. I think I'll keep hold of it. I don't think we need to chuck any more into this. Yeah, okay. Right, let's do it. So Germans get a combat tactic, which is... Oh well, hang on, he's in... That's between turn 1 and 5. That he's in a VP town anyway, so a VP city even. So he's not going to pull out, is he? We've been here before. Just double check. Pull out. If the combat ratio is greater than or equal to 4-1, it is, and in a non-VP hex, no, it is not. So that's not going to apply, and the combat is going to go ahead, which is good. Yeah, I think we won this combat. I've increased the odds to try and make better, surer things. So yeah, okay. So maximum of 8 chip pools, minimum of the 2. So I will go and get the 2. Okay, there's our minimum 2 chits. Would you believe it? I've drawn this one again. This is exactly the one I drew first in the last combat. And I've just drawn it again. So everyone was shuffled back in again, of course, because that last combat done that. So there's no chits set aside to go back into the cup yet. And again, these are all going to mix back in. But great start. 5 to 1. I can't remember. It was NKVD on the front, I think. Yeah. 5 to 1, and then that 2 to 1 one, which is lovely. So, alright, and what do we need to knock this guy out? 1 for the town, 2 to retreat, 2 to the step. So 5, we need 5 hits. We've got D2. Well, I'm definitely going to 7 again, so should I not just go to 8, just to try and make sure? Yeah, I think I'm going to go all in with this one, so we're going to draw the other 6. Well, yeah, I can't really complain, can I? But look at the last chit, it was just annoying. And not only the last chit, the second last chit was actually, and I looked at it on this side first, was large attack, and I thought, oh, that's another hit, because I'd just previously drawn the 1.5 to 1 for a hit to us. I'm like, oh no, that's another hit to us. Looked in the back, look, 6 to 1. So there you go. There's a large attack with 6 to 1 in the back, but it is a D2. So maybe just as well we did go to 6 to 1. And then unfortunately last chit, it was NKVD on the front. I seen that first and I thought, well, what are we getting? 3 to 1, but a hit to us again. And we didn't. I don't think we needed that D1, did we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got overkill on the. And we've got 2 hits to our cell, unfortunately. And we can't disperse to soak one up. Well, we can, but we're not going to. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so a couple of hits to us. However, what did I say? 7 to them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 to them and 2 to us. Yeah, and also notice I managed to pull another replenish chit, but with the new rules, all these are just going to go straight back into the cup now anyway, and that'll be a fresh cup again. Okay, so 7 hits is more than enough to eliminate this guy from the city. So that's all we need with that. Pity we couldn't use the excess hits. That's one of the ones in our den. I don't know if it could be in the German Soviet rules. Like if you have more excess hits, you can soak them up on hits on yourself. That would be nice, but I think that's only an AI rule. And whether it's within Kharkov or not, I don't know. I've not seen it in the Soviet side anyway, Soviet solo side. So yeah, here's the bad bit. 2 hits to herself. Has to be in an armoured or a large unit. Oh dear. Well, that was the downside to bringing 2 one-step units along, wasn't it? Yeah, I'll maybe learn from that one. Because that does mean we've got to take 2 hits on our large... Well, yeah. They're all large units. This one's armoured, admittedly. It's either that or we lose one of these, but that's a bit silly. That is not good. So I guess it's going to be the 2 infantry. I'm hoping they're dropping to 3 strands. Looks like they are. 35G and 57G. Yeah, they do drop to 3 strand, but I don't really have a choice, do I? Well, I have a choice, but no, I'm not going to take it on the armoured unit, am I? And I'm not going to eliminate one of my units. So that's why I'm feeling like I don't have a choice. So okay, I'm going to reduce 35G and 57G. So find their replacement counters. There's 35. There's 57. So these guys go away. That is our 2 hits. Yeah, that wasn't great though. Just knowing that you're not getting the 3-steppers back, eh? But I mean, come on, you're going to have to take some hits in this game. Right, so advance after combat. We do have the option of 2 hexes, however, we're not going to be able to, are we? No. Well, we're going into the city. So we will be taking control of, what was it? Kramatorsk. That doesn't sound very Russian spoken, that, does it? And we get 2 victory points, so up to 15. Pretty good, happy with that. And yeah, I don't really think it matters. I'm just going to move the 2 infantry in, I think, and I'll just leave the rest outside. I mean, if we advance in here a second hex, we can't go from zone of control to zone of control, so we can't advance from here and here or in here, so we'd only be advancing back the way, so it doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, so I'll just leave it at that, I think. Whether we try to go for that guy next, possibly. He's 3 strength as well, and he's out in the open. Well, he's in a broken hex, admittedly, but okay, right. Let's go on the next combat. Hopefully, well, I'm not saying that went bad. We did eliminate the unit, but 1 hit, fair enough. 2 hits, I don't like it. And then, well, it's even worse when you get 3, especially early in the turn, because you're like, oh, I want to disperse, but I can't really. I mean, admittedly, this battle here, if it went wrong, then I would maybe consider it, but it's not what you want to be doing. Anyway, okay, right, so what have we got here? Combat wise, I think we choose to take the 41, didn't we? Yeah, so 6, 7, 8 with 3 chip pools and another 10. So 18 with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 18 with 7 chip pools as only 41. So we need to get a bit luckier here, I think. And 7 chip pools, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Right, let's see if the Germans are going to do in combat tactic wise. Combat engineers, yeah, he's going to get, it's 2+, yeah. Yeah, he's going to get that then, which I think builds him an IP. So, let me double check it, I've not had this yet. Combat engineers, German defence, place an IP marker on the defenders. Does not apply if the defender is in a town, city, or has an IP, or if you applied the Soviet combat engineers tactic to this combat. We did not, so he will build an IP. So that's 1 extra hit we've got to deal to him. So that's made it slightly harder for us. I suppose it could have been worse. Maybe. Right, no defender adjacent, he's in a clear hex, he is armoured. So yeah, some pluses and minuses. I can probably chuck that, we've put the IP on, so all good there. Right, so a minimum of 2 again, maximum of 7. Right, we're going to get the 2. Right, it's a kind of scary start, to be honest. Got a hit already. Yeah, I mean 1 each, fair enough, but yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to go all in. We're going to just take our chances here. I'm starting to regret not having this at 5-1, but however, yeah, we might have not got the same result down there. Right, okay, I'm going to get the other 5. Well, this has been a disaster. I was looking at this one. Glad we didn't get that one in the last battle. City or attack not supported D-2. It was town woods are broken on the back, so we didn't even benefit from the clear hex with that one. This was 5-1 on the front, less than 3-1 on the back. Defender adjacent is not. Now I've left this one aside because he did play combat engineers. Yeah, no, this doesn't apply. It's only if you're the attacker, because you can see it's a D1. I remember it coming up in the previous game and me looking it up, but I think there's questions out there asking. However, I did look at the combat chit summary, and it's just got air power artillery or combat engineers apply if corresponding tactic is in effect. Well, I mean, combat engineers was played by the Germans, right? But you can see that's going to give a D1 hit, so it's not beneficial to the Germans. And I know for a fact that it is only if played by the attacker. I just thought I was going to open the player aid and find it in there, but that is not the case. I still get the feeling I read it somewhere in the book, somewhere, or in something. So I'm going to have a wee glance, see if I can find it for you. Ah, yeah, there it is. It's in the rule book, so it's not in the player aid. So this is another one of the ones that could have you wondering. Page 31, and it's, well, it starts on page 30, 13.31 combat chit situations, and on page 31, let's say combat engineers applies if the combat engineer's combat tactic has been applied by the attacker only. So it's only if the attacker plays it, which would make sense because it's a D1. So there you go. So it's in the rule book. Player aid doesn't quite make it clear, but there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, that was a disastrous attack. I feel, I mean, okay, chits could have came out differently. 2 artillery chits there. I think less than 5-1 odds. So if you're not playing anything else, like if you're not playing a combat tactic like artillery, intelligence, partisan, something like that, air power, you know, you need to give yourself a bit more of a shot, I think. Yeah, I suppose there's other ones that could have come out. I mean, did we not in the last combat, was it not the first 2 chits we drew a 4-1 and then a 2-1 with a D1 on both? So I mean, you know, that could have come out here. So it's 1 hit each. Oh, damn. Sorry, camera away again. I seem to do that once a day now, don't I? Right, okay, so 1 hit each. So, and then unfortunately he built the IP, so all we're doing with his 1 hit is removing the IP. That's all that's happening to him. So a complete wash there. And we've got to take a hit. And it's got to be on a large unit or an armoured unit. And we're losing a 3-stepper again. Oh. Yeah, right, that's a 5 strength infantry. I get the feeling that drops to a 3, doesn't it? I mean, how relevant that is, I don't really know. 41G, yeah, it does drop to a 3. 10, he drops to a 3, and what is he, 25? He drops to a 4. So it's a drop, a loss of 2 strength no matter where you look. So I'm going to take it off the infantry unit. Which, I mean, the other option is I sacrifice a unit. Ooh, I wonder. Is he armoured? Yes. Does it need to be armour or mechanised? I think it's armoured, isn't it? Armoured or large unit. I'm not sure I should be even looking and considering this, to be honest, but yeah. Assign Soviet step loss to unit of your choice. However, first step loss must be to 3-step unit or armour unit, if any. Yeah, I guess I guess I'm considering it because do we have, I don't think we do in this. We don't have a one-step infantry unit in the, oh hang on though. Does it not have to, would it not have to repair this guy before I could bring a guy back from the eliminated units box? I think so. Right, I need to look up replacements here, hang on. Yeah, the priority is flip a supplied one-step non-mech unit on the map to its two-step side. Then 2 is transfer eliminated. Right, sorry, got cut off there. Where was I? I was talking about sign replacement steps. So the first one is it needs to be a one-step non-mech unit on the map. The second priority is a one-step non-mech unit, non-mech unit from the eliminated box to the reserve box. The third one is a one-step mech unit on the map to its two-step side. So, and then the final one is transfer eliminated one-step mech unit to reserve box. So if I chose to allow this guy to be eliminated and picked a replacement point on a card, then it would repair this guy. He's a one-step mech unit on the map. It would repair him before I was able to bring that other guy back to the reserve box. So that kind of like makes my decision, although I probably shouldn't be thinking about it anyway, about allowing that guy to go to be eliminated. Right, okay, well, it's going to have to be the infantry, isn't it? So 41G, and he drops to 3 strength. Yeah, not happy the way this has all went. I mean, that wasn't very good. Both the battles weren't the best, were they? Yeah, well, I maybe shouldn't complain about the one round to city, really, but I may be being a bit picky with that. So that was, their hit was the IP, my hit was on the infantry, and yeah, that's that. Okay, impulse over, and yeah, could have been better, but yeah. So we've got a new card to get, so what we getting? Yeah, good, 6 army, and it's a full thing. So that's good, so we've got these guys ready. That's a pity though, we didn't get this sort of like, my hope was advance after combat and get in here, then activate 6 army next turn, get this guy surrounded, and well, oops, careful Grant, and then do something with these units, probably one of these Rouse units, have a go at. But yeah, that bit's not happening now. I mean, no, okay. Right, unfortunately I'm going to have to go. I was hoping to get this German impulse done just now, but I'll add it on to the end of this anyway, so you'll not see any difference. Yeah, and then we'll finish off part 19. So that was not third tank. Third tank is now available, and Popov is not available for the next impulse. Right, okay, I'll tidy the units up and I'll be back shortly with the next German impulse, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, this will be the second half of Take 2 part 19 after a rather disappointing Soviet impulse, I feel. Right, well, no point going on about it. Okay, so yeah, I've been away for a few hours, but German impulse time. So we'll get that put together, joined up with this other bit, and have another part to put out, hopefully. Here we go. So third corps, looking up to the reserves, there is none. We do have a couple of units on the map. So deploy all third corps reserves, there's none. It is not turn 1. And here we are, more replacements possibly. Actually, I don't think they're going to this time though. Oh, yeah. It's going to keep bringing things back from the dead, isn't it? Yeah. Kind of feel like initially when you're like eliminating some of these units up there, you're thinking, oh, that's good. There's a big pile of them up there. Well, I've already last couple of turns. There's 2 of them came back already. Now I don't think there's any to repair on the map, but you can see there's a stack of 3 armoured units in the eliminated units box. So my guess is that's what's going to happen. And the only 2 units I've got on the map, that's a 2-step unit, that's a 2-step unit, so they can't be repaired. He does have 3, however, yeah, he's going to bring back 2 of them from the dead. And unless there's, well, let's have a look and see what they are. Okay, so they're there. It was armoured unit, was on the top, but the priority is going to be the infantry units. So yeah, step 2 of the procedure is transfer eliminated 1-step non-mech unit to reserve box. So for the first step replacement, now among German units in a given priority, apply to unit with lowest selector. Yeah, obviously. So choice between 7 and 8. He's going to take the lowest one, which is 7, and he'll go back into the reserve box like this. However, then that's only satisfied 1 step, so the next step is going to take the next infantry unit and put him into the reserve units box as well. So these 2 are going to go in the reserve units box, that guy will go back in the eliminated units box. Oh, and that's that. Well, yeah, the one good thing about that is it's a quick procedure, isn't it? Doesn't take much time to work it out. So yeah, try to think how long that other part was though, just to put this together. I mean, I think I probably will. Hang on a sec. Yeah, so admittedly it's only 38 minutes worth of footage I've got, and once I add this 4 or 5 onto the end, it's only going to be 40 odd minutes, but that's fine. I think it's probably quite nice to have the odd shorter episode. And I mean, if I was to start another Soviet impulse here, then that would start taking things too long, I think. So yeah, I will just cut it there. However, I do have time, so I'm going to come straight back. But this will be the end of take 2 part 19, hopefully. Okay, I'll be back shortly, guys. Cheers.